Hi everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin, and I have an important update for Mullen shareholders regarding the upcoming shareholders vote and some changes to what we're actually voting on. One of them I am very happy with because it was something I was quite upset by. So I can't wait to share this with you. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'm also going to give you an update on the stock status and price and what I see happening as far as what's coming up this week. Guys, the whole market is red, so try not to be so down. With Tesla falling as quick as it is, it's no surprise that Mullen is as well, along with other EV companies. We're not alone, so please keep that in mind. Anyways, let's get started. And please remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD. And if you could, smash that like button for me because it's very important that the algorithms pick this up because shareholders deserve to know about this vote. Okay, guys, a lot of this is just a change of wording, and I'm not quite sure, but there has to be some kind of legality behind why they're changing the wording and how they discuss some of it. I'm not going to bore you with those details because I can't really add to the reason why, other than to let you know that there was a lawsuit brought on by two separate shareholders regarding the wording, regarding the number of shares. And I believe a lot of this is brought on by the fact of David Mitchery making that type AA share that gave him that special voting power where basically it doesn't matter what we vote in regards to the reverse split because he is able to trump our vote. But somehow by the way that they changed the wording, I'm wondering if it's not so easy or if he just made it sound like it's not so easy, because let's get real here. We all know that we need to have a reverse split in order to keep Mullen trading on the NASDAQ, because if we vote no and they should continue to keep us under $1, guys, then this stock goes to OTC land. Now, my biggest concern regarding this vote, which I didn't even realize the importance of it at first until somebody brought the difference between the incorporation in Delaware versus the incorporation being in Maryland's rules to my attention, and I did a whole video on that. So if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you watch it in case it ever comes up in the future on any of your stocks. I don't want this to be too long, so I'm not going to get into details on it again here since I've already told you about it. You can go back, you can look under my page, and you will find it. However, he decided to take the proposal off the table to change the incorporation at this time. So therefore, we will stay incorporated, guys, in Delaware, which is very good, because the biggest thing I didn't like about incorporating in Maryland is it seemed to me like it would be a first-class ticket for him to reverse split and issue shares anytime he wanted, and to make Mullen into an even bigger dilution machine than it appears it already is. So that really upset me, and I did a whole video on it. Please watch it if you haven't. Again, it gets into the details, but please know that he took this off the table, so we are no longer voting on that. Again, guys, the rest of this gets into the details regarding the wording of the vote in regards to the reverse split. And it also talks about the litigation, and the record date for determining the stockholders entitled to receive the notice of and to vote at the special meeting has been set as of the close of business on November 21st, 2022. So guys, any shares that you own after this date, you are not entitled to vote on those shares. Please keep that in mind. That also is important. And, the rest of it is just talking about the litigation and the fact that he agreed to change these, but it appears that they're still taking him to court for something from what I'm reading, unless I'm reading this wrong. But we shall see what comes about with that. kind of interesting because I think there's more to it than what I understand. If anyone's an attorney or understands what the legal jargon is that they're using, that they're trying to change the wording of, and why, please let me know in the comments below so that I can pass it on to others. I just don't understand it enough, and I don't want to make something up that I don't fully understand, because that wouldn't be a benefit to you or to anybody else. And I like to pride myself on always being honest with my viewers. So I am honest enough to tell you that I do not understand why they are changing the terminology, and if it really matters or not, to be perfectly fair, because clearly we need a reverse split to stay uplisted. So anyways, that being said, guys, it is very bullish though that we're not changing our incorporation, in my opinion. Again, if you're an attorney, please let me know what the validity of that is. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, now I heard a lot of people saying today that it's BS. There's more people buying than selling. And I just want you to know, guys, that that's not true. There's actually more selling going on than there is buying right now. You have to understand that a lot of people have been day trading or swing trading Mullen. You know, there's the perma bulls in Mullen, like me, that just keeps adding to my position when it goes down. And like a lot of you, I'm sure. But there's also people, guys, that trade it. And I'm honest, I do have a swing position in it. But guys, I honestly haven't closed that out. I'm just keeping it because it hasn't hit my target for that swing yet. And until it does, and even then, I may still keep it, because unless something changes my mind or there's something else that catches my eye that I want to get into, I really think this is a cheap price. I really think that there's a lot of positives coming from Mullen, and I don't see any need for me to sell my shares highly discounted, in my opinion, whether or not there is or isn't a reverse split. As we've seen recently, reverse splits are not always bad. And I will repeat that. Yes, guys, I do understand that a lot of times a reverse split is very negative because of the connotation of a reverse split. But a lot of companies are really bleeding right now, and it's the entire market. I mean, just look at the share price of Tesla, what it's done this year. It's sad. But this is where we're at in the economy. And, you know, I hate to say it, but not to get political, so please don't start putting political comments below. But Trump warned us that, you know, if Biden was elected, the stock market would crash. And sure enough, as far as I'm concerned, since Biden's been elected, my stocks have done nothing but go down, my long-term stocks, you know. So it's not a positive, guys, for our market right now. The economy's gone to crap, and it's clearly showing. But this also creates an opportunity to gain generational wealth. When you invest in the times when everybody's fearful, that is when you can produce the most profits. Worst case scenario, yes, we may have to have a reverse stock split. I highly anticipate it, guys. I'd be shocked if we didn't, and I'm just being very honest with you. However, that being said, look at what happened to COSM after their reverse split, right? Perhaps we get something similar that happens with Mullen. Another stock that I was in, GOCO, had a recent reverse split, and it's been nothing but good ever since. In fact, it's more than doubled in price. So, you know, sometimes behind a dark door, or what's perceived as a dark door, is actually a light that creates opportunity. Keep that in mind. A lot of it will depend on how shareholders react too. All right, so the short shares have been rising again. Clearly, look at these charts. And guys, I just wanted to show you that institutions are adding right now. Do you think that they're adding if they don't think that Mullen's going to be good long term, even if there's a reverse split? Because trust me, they have people that they pay a lot of money to do the digging, and they know that what's on the table. So A, either they run it up before and prevent it from happening, or B, they're not really concerned about it because they know value for value, it's technically the same thing. Even though, you know, you have less shares, they're more valuable. The problem becomes when they continue shorting after the reverse splits. Now, currently there are 123 institutions still holding Mullen, and they have 184.8 million shares, which you can see is a huge increase God, I'm blind as a bat. Let's blow this up. 62.28 million increase, guys, since they last updated this. That's huge increase, okay? So I'm bullish on what I'm seeing. Now, the short interest is currently at 11.81%. And guys, over the weekend, we got down to no shares left to borrow. Yet miraculously, by the end of the day today, there were 10 million shares available. I wonder how that happened. Look, it went from 0 to 10,000 to 250,000 to 350,000 to 500,000 to 350,000, and suddenly end of day 10 million shares. So either somebody returned the shares that they had on loan, or why is this happening? Maybe they're ready to run it again. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Either that or they're going to short it more. It's one of the two, right? The cost to borrow is very cheap in the stock, relatively speaking, guys, compared to where it's been in the past, 9.9%. So it makes it very easy for them to short. And guys, you know, they can control this price right now because look at this. Every single day, the short volume ratio has been, except for one, which was 47.72, the low. But every other day, it's been over 50%, right? The short volume ratio, guys, are the shares that they're shorting in the dark pool. Today, 52.07%. The high in the last 2 weeks, 59.17%. Every single day, except for that one of the last 10 trading days, has been over 50%. So clearly, you can see what they're doing. And again, that 11.81% short interest is just what they're reporting, guys. Shorts are not required to disclose their short position. I am willing to bet it is significantly higher just based on the price action and based on the short volume ratio. Again, failure to delivers do not come into play here because even when they got it to 20 million FTDs, look at that. The very next trading day, they were down to none. How do they do this, guys? Because they drive down the price to create fear and get people to sell their shares. And unfortunately, in this very bloody market that we're in right now, there are not a lot of people with a buy and hold mentality. They are a buy and trade, or they're a buy and sell at a loss if they see their price going down, which is sad, right? But it is what it is. And guys, I mean, you have to look at this, and you should have already looked at this if you're in it, as how do you want to play this? Is this something that you're trying to build a big position in and you're adding to your shares on the dips? Or is this something that you're just looking to trade? If it's something you're just looking to trade, then you probably should have sold it back up when it hit 30-something cents a few days ago, right? And let it go back down to ride it back up again. Guys, I have my stocks I trade. I mean, I trade every day. This is not one of them. This, to me, is a long-term hold. Again, and I have a swing trade that at this time, I am just holding on to, and probably likely adding. If it goes below 25 cents again, guess what? I will be adding more to that. If it doesn't, then it stays where it's at for now. Although, who knows? I may decide before I run up to do it again. But guys, right now, you know, I do have the reverse split on my mind, and I do think that it needs to happen. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found it very helpful to know that they're not going to change that incorporation, because that was something that was really bothering me, which those of you that watched the video, I'm sure you're well aware of that, because it would not have been good for Mullen shareholders. So this is very, very bullish news. All right, guys.